Please like the video and share it so that it reaches many more people and you get sawaba, or rewards from Allah. This could be a sawabe jariyah or continuous reward for you long after you are gone.
Volume 7, Book 62, Number 28. Narrated by Sahl. A man passed by Allah's apostle, and Allah's apostle asked his companions, "What do you say about this man?" They replied, "If he asks for a lady's hand, he ought to be given her in marriage. And if he intercedes for someone, his intercessor should be accepted. And if he speaks, he should be listened to." Allah's apostle kept silent, and then a man from among the poor Muslims passed by. And Allah's apostle asked them, "What do you say about this man?" They replied, "If he asks for a lady's hand in marriage, he does not deserve to be married, and he intercedes for someone. His intercession should not be accepted, and if he speaks, he should not be listened to." Allah's apostle said, "This poor man is better than so many of the first as filling the earth." Volume 7, Book 62, Number 29. Narrated by Ursa. That he asked Aisha regarding the verse, "If you fear that you shall not be able to deal justly with the orphans," 4.3, she said, "O my nephew." This verse refers to the orphan girl who is under the guardianship of her guardian, who likes her beauty and wealth and wishes to marry her and curtails her mahr. Such guardians have been forbidden to marry them unless they do justice by giving them their full mahr, and they have been ordered to marry other than them. The people asked for the verdict of Allah's apostle after that, so Allah revealed, "They ask your instruction concerning the women whom you desire to marry." 4.127, so Allah revealed to them that, if the orphan girl had beauty and wealth, they desired to marry her and for her family status. They can only marry them if they give them their full mahr. And if they had no desire to marry them, because of their lack of wealth and beauty, they would leave them and marry other women. So, as they used to leave them, when they had no interest in him, they were forbidden to marry them. When they had such interest, unless they treated them justly and gave them their full mahr, apostle said, "If at all there is evil omen, it is in the horse, the woman and the house. A lady is to be warded off." And the statement of Allah, "Truly, among your wives and your children, there are enemies for you, i.e. may stop you from the obedience of Allah," 64.14. Volume 7, Book 62, Number 30. Narrated by Abdullah bin Umar. Allah's apostle said, "Evil omen is in the women, the house and the horse." Volume 7, Book 62, Number 31. Narrated by Ibn Umar. Evil omen was mentioned before the Prophet. The Prophet said, "If there is evil omen in anything, it is in the house, the woman and the horse." Volume 7, Book 62, Number 32. Narrated by Sahl bin Sa'd. Allah's apostle said, "If at all there is bad omen, it is in the horse, the woman, and the house." Volume 7, Book 62, Number 33. Narrated by Osama bin Zaid. The Prophet said, "After me I have not left any affliction more harmful to men than women." Volume 7, Book 62, Number 34. Narrated by Aisha. Three principles were established because of Barira. When Banra was manumitted, she was given the option to remain with her slave husband or not. Allah's apostle said, the wallah of the slave is for the one who manumits the slave. When Allah's apostle entered the house, he saw a cooking pot on the fire, but he was given bread and meat soup from the soup of the home. The Prophet said, "Didn't I see the cooking pot on the fire?" It was said, "That is the meat given in charity to Barira, and you do not eat the things given in charity." The Prophet said, "It is an object of charity for Barira, and it is a present for us." Volume 7, Book 62, number 35. Narrated by Aisha. Regarding the verse, "And if you fear that you shall not be able to deal justly with the orphans," 4.3, it is about the orphan girl who is in the custody of a man who is her guardian, and he intends to marry her because of her wealth, but he treats her badly and does not manage her property fairly and honestly. Such a man should marry women of his liking other than her, 2 or 3 or 4. Prohibited to you, for marriage, are your foster mothers, who suckled you. 4.23, marriage is prohibited between persons having a foster suckling relationship corresponding to a blood relationship which renders marriage unlawful. Volume 7, Book 62, number 36. Narrated by Aisha. The wife of the Prophet, that while Allah's apostle was with her, she heard a voice of a man asking permission to enter the house of Hafsa. Aisha added, "I said, O Allah's apostle, this man is asking permission to enter your house." The Prophet said, "I think he is so and so," naming the foster uncle of Hafsa. Aisha said, "If so and so," naming her foster uncle, "were living, could he enter upon me?" The Prophet said, "Yes, for foster suckling relations make all those things unlawful which are unlawful through corresponding birth, blood, relations." Volume 7, Book 62, number 37. Narrated by Ibn Abbas. It was said to the Prophet, "Won't you marry the daughter of Hamza?" He said, "She is my foster niece, brother's daughter." Volume 7, Book 62, number 38. Narrated by Habiba. Daughter of Abu Sufyan, I said, "O Allah's apostle, marry my sister, the daughter of Abu Sufyan." The Prophet said, "Do you like that?" I replied, "Yes, for even now I am not your only wife and I like that my sister should share the good with me." The Prophet said, "But that is not lawful for me." I said, "We have heard that you want to marry the daughter of Abu Salama." He said, "You mean, the daughter of Salama?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Even if she were not my stepdaughter, she would be unlawful for me to marry as she is my foster niece. I and Abu Salama was suckled by Thuwaiba. So you should not present to me your daughters or your sisters in marriage." Narrated, Ursa. Thuwaiba was the freed slave girl of Abu Lahab, whom he had manumitted, and then she suckled the Prophet. When Abu Lahab died, one of his relatives saw him in a dream in a very bad state and asked him, "What have you encountered?" Abu Lahab said, "I have not found any rest since I left you, except that I have been given water to drink in this, the space between his thumb and other fingers, and that is because of my manumitting Thuwaiba." Volume 7, Book 62, number 39. Narrated by Aisha. That the Prophet entered upon her while a man was sitting with her. Signs of anger seemed to appear on his face as if he disliked that. She said, "Here is my foster brother." He said, "Be sure as to who is your foster brother, for foster-suckling relationship is established only when milk is the only food of the child." Volume 7, Book 62, number 41. Narrated by Uqba bin al-Harith. I married a woman and then a black lady came to us and said, "I have suckled you both, you and your wife." So I came to the Prophet and said, "I married sir, and then a black lady came to us and said to me, 'I have suckled both of you. But I think she is a liar.'" The Prophet turned his face away from me and I moved to face his face, and said, "She is a liar." The Prophet said, "How can you keep her as your wife, when that lady has said that she has suckled both of you? So abandon, i.e., divorce, her, your wife."
حي على